If someone told you right now that with 100% certainty, you would become the best version of yourself, living your dream reality with your perfect dream physique, you're feeling confident, you're feeling happy, whatever you've imagined for yourself, that is with 100% certainty going to happen for you within the next 12 months, how would you feel? How would you spend your day? What actions would you take today? If you connected to that version of you, if you connected to her, would you sit in a messy room or house and doom scroll on your phone for hours? Is that something she would do? Would she say she was going to go for a workout, maybe go for a walk after sitting at home all day and then just never go? Is that something she would do? Would she say she was going to cook a healthy meal at home and instead get takeaway or eat junk food or not eat properly? Is that how she would act? Would she say, I want a better life for myself. I'm going to post content. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to read more books, but then keep delaying it week by week. Is that how she would be living? You have to understand that the highest version of you, the best version of you, the one that you can see in your mind, the one that you can feel in your heart, the reason you can see it is because it's possible for you. The reason you can feel it is because it already exists. She already exists and she's waiting for you to reach her. And the only difference between you now and her is the way that you feel about yourself and your habits. And this all comes down to your self-image. When my mentor told me about the concept of a self-image, it literally completely changed how I operated day to day, and it helped me go through one of the biggest transformations I've been through in my life. It helped me completely shift my identity. I went from being insecure, anxious, always searching external validation, didn't even really know who I was as a person because I was such an extreme people pleaser. I was such a nice, good girl. I didn't like the way that I looked. I didn't like my habits. I didn't recognize myself. And this went on for years and years. And the 6 habits I'm going to teach you today have helped me completely transform my identity and glow up physically, but most importantly, help me glow up on the inside as well. So now day to day, I actually feel fulfilled. I actually feel happy because at the end of the day, I know that's why you want a better life for yourself, because you want to feel happy. You want to feel good in your life. This one life that you have, you want to make sure that you're living it to your fullest. And when you start implementing these 6 habits, it's not just going to transform how you look on the outside. It's going to change how you feel about yourself on the inside, and everything in life comes down to how you feel about yourself. That is one thing that everyone will be able to pick up on, whether consciously or unconsciously, because that will be your energy that you're emanating, and energy doesn't lie. So let's go through these 6 ways to naturally glow up fast and just level up mentally and physically so you can look your best, but also feel your best and live the life of your dreams. I promise you, the most important thing is you have to believe it's possible for you. You have to believe it's possible for you no matter what anyone says, because I promise you it is. This brings me on to the concept of your self-image. So the only reason you are not living as your best self, your highest self, is because you are not in the vibration and frequency of it, first mentally with your thoughts and your feelings, and secondly with your actions. And the way to get into the frequency of your highest self is to work on your self-image. Every single day is an opportunity to build your self-image. So what is your self-image? Your self-image is essentially how you view yourself, how much trust you have with yourself, how much respect you have for yourself. Essentially, it is how you feel about yourself. For example, maybe you've wanted to become a better version of yourself for years, but you're really just close to giving up because it's so hard. It's so hard to build these new habits. And deep down, whether consciously or unconsciously, you don't even trust yourself. You don't trust yourself because you've told yourself, I'm going to change a million times, and you haven't. You set goals and you haven't followed through on them. You've told yourself you were going to go to the gym and you didn't go. You told yourself you were going to start learning to cook new recipes and you didn't do it. You told yourself you were going to take better care of yourself and you didn't follow through. And now what's happened is you have a very poor self-image, and whether you realize it or not, you don't even like yourself. You don't even like who you are as a person. And I've been in that position. I've been in that position so many times in my life where I didn't even like myself. And that is something that you can never fake. People will always be able to unconsciously sense someone's energy when they don't like themselves, when they don't trust themselves, and when they don't respect themselves. So you have to think about it this way. Your best friend tells you that they're going to meet you somewhere and they literally bail last minute, and they do this again and again and again. Your best friend tells you they're going to do you a favor and then they bail. They don't do it again and again and again. They're constantly disappointing you and they're constantly letting you down. Or maybe your boyfriend or your girlfriend constantly letting you down, never showing up, bailing last minute. You would not keep these people in your life because they would disappoint you so much. Yet you are breaking promises to yourself every single day. And this goes so much deeper than, oh, I didn't go to the gym, which means I'm not gonna become really fit and get my dream physique and look good externally. No, every time you break a promise with yourself, you lose trust with yourself and you decrease your self-image, and that is how you feel about yourself. In life, you should be your number one fan. You should be your partner, your mother, your father. You should be a child that you love, that you want to take care of. You need to literally look after yourself like you are your best friend. You were born with this person. You're going to die with this person. You are going to be there every step of the way. You need to look after yourself like you're literally a child that you love so much and you will do anything and you want them to be the healthiest and happiest version of themselves. So the action for the number one step is every day you're going to set 3 goals. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't do 10 goals. Don't go 0 to 100. Set 3 goals. For example, make sure they're a little bit challenging, but still realistic, because you want to set yourself up for success so you can build your self-image as someone who follows through on what they say they're going to do, because that is going to increase how you feel about yourself. That is going to increase the respect you have for yourself, because the difference between you and her is that she loves herself, because she has done hard things for herself and she trusts herself, she respects herself, and she always follows through on what she says she's going to do. So if you're walking 4,000 steps a day consistently, for the next week, maybe you set the goal to walk 5,000 steps a day consistently, and you make that promise to yourself, and you don't do it for the outcome. The outcome will come. The outcome is just a byproduct. To become her, that's already a given. That's done. You are in this process now to build your self-image, because everything in life comes down to feeling. And if you go to bed feeling good about yourself, feeling proud about yourself, you are literally creating an electromagnetic field around you. Every single person has an electromagnetic field around them that's created from their thoughts and their feelings. And this is what attracts things to us. So once you start operating from that higher frequency of I love myself, I trust myself, I respect myself, I follow through on what I say I'm going to do, you will then start to attract even more solutions and even more opportunities, things that you couldn't even imagine in your wildest dreams. You have no idea the opportunities the universe is going to send to you once you start showing it that you're willing to put in the work, that you're willing to operate from a higher place. This brings me on to point 2. You need to get really clear on her. You're going to get to where you want to get to way faster if you have a clear vision of what you want your life to look like, how you want to feel, how you want to dress, how you talk to yourself every day. If you just know in your mind, I just want to be happier and healthier and look better, that's not specific. That's not very clear. If you can connect to that version of her and get very clear on it, you will get there way faster, because in your head, you will be able to visualize her. You will be able to connect to that feeling of her. And so I've created this completely free journaling guide, which will help you connect to her. And it will help you differentiate how she acts and how your current self acts and what the differences are, because you need to be able to identify when you self-sabotage. You need to connect to yourself now and know what are your vices, what are the times where you get really stressed or you get really tired and you fall back into your old habits. What are your triggers that make you fall back into your old habits? You need to sit down and put pen to paper and identify that version of yourself. It is so important. If you get clear on who am I today and who is that woman that is the highest version, or man that is the highest version of myself that I dream about being? How does she act? How does she dress? How does she handle stress? What are her daily habits? What are her thought patterns? How does she talk to herself? Does she put herself down? She probably doesn't put herself down. She probably doesn't stay up all night on her phone. She probably has completely different habits to what you have now. So get very, very clear on the new self, on her thought patterns, habits, behaviors, and get really clear on your current self. What is the difference? Because right now, the only difference between your old self and your new self is how you feel about yourself and the habits. And so in those moments, now that you've identified your old behaviors and your new behaviors, every day when you feel your old self, because this journey is going to require a death of your old self, and your brain is the most powerful thing on the planet, and it will do everything it can to fight to keep you the same. But in those moments when it gets hard and your old self is trying to keep you the same, is trying to make you break a promise that you made to yourself, I want you to ask yourself this question every single day. Every single day in those moments, what would she do? When you ask yourself that question, I want you to connect to that feeling of her. Just make the habit of it. All you have to do is do this journaling exercise just once, get clear on her, connect to the feeling of her. And then in those moments when your old self is fighting for its dear life and trying to keep you the same, trying to keep you stuck, trying to keep you safe, familiar, and comfortable, you can ask yourself, what would she do? Okay, and step 3, on this journey to glowing up, if we want to succeed, if we want to step into our best self, our sexiest, most abundant, most attractive, magnetic self, and this is 100% possible for you. I cannot even express it. If you believe it, it is possible for you. If you persevere, it is possible for you. I have completely transformed myself. There are people from my life who knew me when I was younger, who cannot believe the transformation I've gone through. People cannot believe I'm still the same person that I was when I was younger in terms of how I look, the life that I've created for myself, the fact that I'm an entrepreneur, that I'm posting content. No one would have seen me as that girl. No one even noticed me. No boys even told me that they liked me. Okay, I've completely shifted my identity because I believed and I persevered and I had that vision in my mind and I would always connect to her. And with all these things that I'm sharing, these are the lessons that I've learned. In this journey to glowing up, we are always aiming for progress, not perfection. We are always aiming to just be 1% better, and we are only ever in competition with ourselves yesterday, with ourselves last week, last month, last year, never anybody else. This is our journey. And to set ourselves up for success on this journey, it is extremely important, if you are a woman, to always know where you are in your cycle. It is very, very important, okay? Because your cycle should never be an excuse. It should never be an excuse to not follow through on the things you say you're going to do, but it should be something that you use to your advantage. It is an extremely powerful thing you can use to your advantage to succeed and set yourself up for success. When we connect to our cycle and we live in a way where we connect to our cycle, we are going to step into our feminine. And when we step into our feminine, we're going to be able to attract with ease, okay? We are not men. Men operate on a 24-hour hormone cycle. That means every single day, they have the exact same pattern of hormones surging and dropping. They can have the exact same routine every day. If they want to hustle, wake up at 5 a.m., and do this whole morning routine and workout and then work for 8 hours and go to bed, they can do that. They have the same hormone cycle every day. We do not. We have a 28-day hormone cycle, okay? If we try to hustle like a man 24 hours and stick to the same habits and don't honor our body and our needs and force and push and push and push, we are going to stress ourselves out, fall sick, and also operate from a place of fear and control, which is when we're going to repel things instead of attract them to us. Okay, as being a woman, when you sync to your cycle, you are going to be a lot healthier, a lot happier, and attract what you want with a lot more ease. So I'm going to put down the different stages of the cycle on the screen, but remember to always use it to your advantage, not as an excuse. And it's really important to connect because, for example, when you know that the luteal phase, especially at the end of your luteal phase, is very common. That is a time in our cycle where we're going to feel the most self-doubt, the most anxiety. We're going to feel the most emotional. We're going to just doubt ourselves a lot more. And maybe a week before, we really believed in ourselves. We had the dreams. We thought it was possible for us. Then a week later, suddenly we're doubting everything. Once you know, oh, I'm in my luteal phase, you can tell yourself, I honor this. I honor how I'm feeling, but I know that it's not true. I know that it's not real. I'm just in my luteal phase. It's going to pass. I'm going to get back into it. Okay, so use it to your advantage and don't ever use it as an excuse to say, because I'm in this part of my cycle, I'm not going to push myself. You can still go on walks. You can still eat healthy. You can still have good habits. Use it to your advantage. So for step 3, if you're not already tracking your cycle, there's loads of free tracker apps. You can download them. The first day of your cycle is always the first day of your period. And then the last 14 days of your cycle is typically 10 to 14 days is your luteal phase. So the closer you get to the end of your cycle, it can be either 25 to 30-day cycle for most of us, the more emotional and anxious potentially you can become. Again, that's not always the case. You might have really healthy hormones and you don't feel those emotions as much. But if you do, I know I've been there, I've had painful periods, I've had extremely emotional times in my luteal phase, then knowing that I'm just in my luteal phase, that the doubt I'm having in my mind is not real and it's going to pass, then I've been able to bounce back a lot faster. So it's really important to step into your feminine and to sync to your cycle. Okay, step 4, if you want to glow up, if you want to transform your face, if you want to change your face, if you want to look like the hottest version of yourself, it is extremely important to be doing lymphatic drainage every single day. Your lymphatic system is your waste management system. Its job is to get rid of toxins every day, the toxins that build day to day. Now, what happens is when we're stressed and we're tense, our lymphatic fluid, the fluid that's carrying all the toxins, it cannot drain properly. Okay, so when we're tense, it prevents lymphatic drainage, and that can really cause a puffy face. It can cause a puffy body. And that's why when you see a lot of these pictures, I had cortisol face. For the longest time, I didn't recognize myself. And when I started doing these practices, my cortisol face completely went away because I was extremely stressed out. I was extremely tense. My lymphatic drainage wasn't happening effectively. And I was really puffy because of it. And so I started doing these practices, and I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel that you can go watch and you can do it yourself. But I started promoting lymphatic drainage by doing gua sha on my neck and shoulders, and it can literally only take 5 minutes. I didn't even work on my face some days because I was working a full-time job in financial services, and I would just wake up and I would do this routine for 5 to 10 minutes on my neck and my shoulders. Because if you want to work on the face, the most important thing is to open up your neck and your shoulders and your chest first. And then in the evenings, I would start doing facial reflexology. Now, if you massage your jaws right now like this, there's a very good chance that you'll feel a lot of tension here. And what deepens the expression lines on our face is tension. We're always working out our bodies and releasing the tension from our bodies. But when we're stressed, we hold all of that tension in our shoulders, in our face, in our head. And so these practices literally completely transformed my appearance. And in a way where I was like, I look like myself again. I look like the best version of me. It's just enhanced me and made me look like the most beautiful version of myself. And I want that for you too, because I genuinely, when I look back at those photos of me now, I'm like, wow, like that was not me. That was not me. And if you're like me, if this sounds like you, you're stressed out in life, you're not recognizing yourself, I would urge you to really implement these practices. And another thing it did for me is as soon as you start doing facial reflexology or the gua sha practices that I share, your nervous system will relax. And so in order for your lymphatic system to work effectively, in order for those toxins to drain, your body cannot be tense. Your body, and this can also cause a lot of acne. You know, when you're always tense, that will cause a lot of acne as well because the lymphatic system is not draining properly. And so when you relax your nervous system, you do facial reflexology, you do gua sha, your nervous system relaxes, then your body could drain effectively, right? Your nervous system is in rest and digest, but it's also in drain. So I was not only waking up with a more sculpted face that looked more like myself and I felt more confident, but I was also helping my nervous system relax. I was also lowering stress and inflammation in the body. And that made me look even better as well. And that helped me get that glow from the inside out. I used to be so insecure about my skin. My biggest fear was people seeing me without makeup on my face. I felt like I looked so dull. I looked so sick. I looked so unhealthy. And now that's just a memory in the distant, and it's because I started doing these practices. So if you want to glow up, it's very important to not just sit there and wish for it. It's very important to take action every day where you are looking after yourself. And these practices are so amazing because they're natural. They help heal the body from the inside out, and they help prevent and diminish fine lines and wrinkles. And maybe you won't resonate with these practices, but find something that you do resonate with, that you can do for yourself every single day, because it is also an act of self-love, giving yourself permission to rest and recharge and tell yourself it is okay to slow down. 5 is your focus. I need you to understand and carry this lesson with you every single day, because you will need to consciously make yourself aware of this every single day, that the most valuable thing you have on this planet is your focus. Okay, your brain is the most powerful asset that you have. And everyone says money is not the most valuable asset, it's your time. But everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Why do some people achieve so much more? It is because of their focus. And everybody's focus is completely destroyed right now. Everybody's brains have been hijacked by all of this cheap dopamine. We should not be stimulated this much. We should not have so much pleasure and dopamine. Our ancestors would literally have to hunt for days and would find sweet fruits, and it was so scarce. And that was the extent of the pleasure they would feel. And now there is pleasure and cheap dopamine at every corner, at the food that you eat, always constantly being on your phone. This will also lead to extreme low motivation and low energy, and even depression. If you're constantly hijacking your brain with cheap dopamine, you're not gonna have a good baseline of dopamine. And getting a good baseline of dopamine is what leads to feeling pleasure and satisfaction and joy in your life. And that, in order to get a good baseline of dopamine, it means doing hard things over the long term. So your focus is the most valuable thing that you have. And I promise you, most people's potential and dreams are going to die in their lifetime because of their phone. This little device that you carry around with you everywhere is the biggest risk to your dreams and your potential. And if you don't consciously make the commitment every single day to detach from your phone and to not let it control you, it will take over your life and it will stop you from reaching your potential. And at the end of your life, you will know that I could have done so much more, but I didn't because I was addicted to my phone. You need to connect to her. What would she be like? Would she be scrolling on her phone all the time? Would her phone be controlling her? Would she be obsessively checking it all the time? Would she be anxious that people aren't responding to her? No, she is unbothered. She is detached. She is literally so busy working on herself that she doesn't even have time to worry about it. She doesn't even have time to check who's messaging her on the phone. And finally, step 6 is movement. If you can build discipline with training your body, you will automatically build discipline in your mind. I used to literally think I was incapable of walking more than 4,000 to 6,000 steps a day. And I thought I didn't want to push myself because I didn't want to stress myself out with working out. Bear in mind, when I was like that, I was also my unhealthiest. I had really bad habits. I wasn't sleeping well, and I didn't like the way that I looked or the way that I felt. Yesterday, I walked 17,000 steps without even realizing. And I slept great, and I wasn't even tired because I built that habit. So really check in with yourself and ask yourself, how would she be moving her body? Because it's just a belief system you have that I can only walk this much a day. I can only work out this much a week. And of course, connect to your cycle. We don't need to be stressing ourselves out with intense workouts every day, but there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be moving your body every single day, why you shouldn't be walking, at the very minimum, walking every single day and getting your steps in. It is so important as well. Do it for your oldest self. Do it so that you can live a long and happy and healthy life. Do it so that you respect yourself. This all comes down to your self-image, because building that discipline with your body is so rare these days, and people will see it. Everybody can recognize a strong body. Everybody can recognize when someone has the discipline to eat well and look after themselves. And it's not about being perfect. You can always implement the 80-20 rule, right? This is a lifestyle, but you will respect yourself so much. You will have such a high self-discipline if you prioritize that movement. So just check in with yourself. What level of movement would she be having? Would she have the belief systems you currently have with the level of movement and exercise you're currently doing? And the reason I feel so passionate about this is because that was me. In hindsight, I was lazy and I was literally using all these excuses to keep myself stuck. And now, after building this habit and pushing myself more and more and more, I couldn't be healthier or happier or feel better about myself or feel more disciplined. Remember that your old brain will do everything to keep you the same. So if you connect to that version of her and you ask yourself every single day, what would she do? You set yourself those 3 goals to move your body, to do something for lymphatic drainage, and then whatever else that will help you align with your highest self, you connect to that feeling. Whenever your old brain tries to bring you back, you can connect to that feeling of her. And it all comes down to believing in yourself, visualizing and persevering through it, because I promise you, if you could see it in your mind, it is possible for you. And do not ever let your dreams die, okay? Do not ever let them die. I believe in you, I'm excited for you, and I'll see you in the next video.